Hello everyone, welcome to the Decks of the Weekend. Yesterday I played in the Magic Online PTQ that had 440 people. That is insane, like just by far the most beloved format on Magic Online, and possibly of all constructed formats. And I was one of them. I went 6 and 4 with 5 color creativity with Leyline Binding. Why did I play it over Murktide? Mostly just I don't know, challenge myself with a different deck than just Murktide, as I like creativity a lot. Ended up losing 3 matches to Blood Moon via Blue-Red Murktide, Jeskai Breach, and a strange Blue-Red Phoenix deck that I'm actually going to play in the next few days on my channel. So yeah, I think creativity is a great choice, and I mean, it's not that I lose all the times to those cards and decks. It was actually very close, but outside of the blue-red decks, I think creativity is just very good. In fact, a lot of copies in the top 8. Notably, Zero Murktide in the top 16 of this event. I want to say it's one of the first time that Murktide doesn't perform at the highest level in one of those like hardest tournament, because of course we can mention like the challenges and etc. But this was a 10-round Swiss event, like a huge event on the same level of those like very large paper events that happen here and there. So yeah, the winners all from Spain, other than Print One Wine. It's just everybody was Spanish in this top 8. Pretty crazy. Not everybody was Spanish, but a lot of people were Spanish. Definitely the 2 finalists. Pachi and Varos played the final, playing Jeskai Breach and Timor Creativity. We have then a couple of Timor Rhinos in Marco Shadow and Rastaf. Actually lost to Rastaf in the Swiss. And then we have 2 Amulet Titan, which of course, like, with Blurred Murktide maybe losing, Amulet Titan goes up. But Amulet Titan, I think, kind of suffers. It's a very similar deck to Creativity, in my opinion. But, you know, Creativity is much easier because you have to cast. You don't have to know exactly all the interactions and things like that. But, you know, Amulet definitely rewards the experts. What else do we have? Yeah, I told you the creativity. One is Teamer and one is 5 colors. My list is very similar to this one. What else we got? I think just a pretty, just again. Oh, there's a blue eye control, right? There's a blue eye control, which I think was very good positioned. And in fact, one of the reasons why I chose creativity over Murktide, it was to prey on these decks that came up to beat the Murktides and Breach decks. All right, but the decks of the weekend that I chose for Modern, it's not one of those one that won the tournaments because they were pretty much stock decks overall, but it was instead this Mono Red Power Conduit, once again by the same player that quote-unquote invented or just brought back the Mono Red 8 Blast a few weeks ago. Emma, she top 8 at a Modern Challenge, one of the 4 ones that happened over the weekend, so 5 Modern event this weekend on Magic Online. Definitely the place to go if you like to play competitive Modern. You probably already heard about this combo for a while. It's Power Conduit plus Urza Saga, as you can remove a counter to the Saga so that it doesn't die, and you just keep on tutoring up 1 mana artifact and making construct every turn and so on. Similar thing to X Parasite, but Power Conduit, you can just do that just without losing any life, just by tapping this thing and so on. And also another weird card in the deck is the Flamekeld, which lets you discard your hand, which is mostly like gonna be empty because this deck plays like 40 cards that cost 0/1, and then eventually draws 2 cards. So, you know, it's a very slow card advantage engine, but one that I really like. So yeah, I mean, can't really go too much wrong with playing Lightning Bolt, Ragavan Channeler, and there's a Saga. And yeah, Emma did it again. Very good deck, very sweet list. Congrats to her. But yeah, we got Giganta. Just honestly, very similar list to the 8 Blast deck that took the format by storm a few weeks ago. I think the format a little bit, you know, adjusted to it, and I don't think it's particularly much better than Blue Red Prowess, which, yeah, it's still up there, similar to Burn. Those decks exist, and they can definitely kill you on turn 3, or, you know, you definitely have the tools to fight against those decks. But cool deck, congrats to her. Let's go over to Legacy, where there was also a very large PTQ. I believe 150 people played this one. This one was on Saturday. And, you know, you have, I think only one initiative made the top 8. You have a lot of Delvers as always. And the winner is a deck that probably is happy to play against Delver. And it's this 4 color control. So, What we have here is Minskembu and Uro. Those are your win cons. You have 3 copies of Terminus, and you have Force of Will. I purchased the Dominaria Master Old Border Force of Will. You can see them here. I don't know. I like to try new arts on Magic Online. In paper, I'll have my alliances, and then it's fine. On Magic Online is much easier to trade, buy, sell. You don't have to worry about many things, and I like to do that. So here I have my Dominaria Master Force. I definitely have to get used to it, but I like it. So yeah, speaking about the deck here, we have Leyline Binding, one main, one side. Definitely an interesting card that we really do not see often. With the most important card from the side is definitely Carpet of Flowers that comes in against every blue decks. This card used to be in the main deck along with side with Pyroblast, but White Initiative just, changed that, and now you have them in the sideboard. Again, this was a large tournament, so, congrats to JSTMS, a very well-known Magical Land Grinder. 22 lands, 2 Mystic Sanctuary, Savannah, and Taiga. You have to know what you're doing when you play this deck. You need to know the sequencing and etc. Rest Down is excellent against Initiative, as they play their Initiative card. You flash this in, and they don't even get the Initiative because the card doesn't have an ATB effect. So that's the quote-unquote combo. You can also go Dress Down, end of turn of your opponent, or in your main phase, but it's going to be just, I don't know. It's not really, I think it's a more fancy play than it actually is a good play. But yeah, Minskembu is your way to dodge the various like Surgical Extraction on Uro, as you don't have that many win cons. In fact, you have 2 win cons in this deck. Very well rounded and just well built deck. Terminus, for those of you who are missing to play with, since there's Divine in top and Counterbalance. This deck's similar to the old days, except now you have the format evolved. There's a lot more powerful decks, like the Initiative decks. That is kind of like, it's still a very powerful deck that will probably deserve some action, but the metagame seems to be adjusted with a lot of snuff out in the Delver lists, which are going over the top of these Initiative decks that aren't really performing anymore at the highest level, like this PTQ with over 150 players. Let's go over Pauper, which is another format that has a lot of misconception in my opinion. People want changes, people want bans of Affinity and Mono Red, but every tournament it happens, whether it was the PTQ last weekend and the events this weekend, both Mono Red and Affinity perform with below 50% win rate, which to me, it's a great sign of health of the format. I enjoy playing Pauper. Last Thursday I played Black White Ephemerate. There is a video coming out today about it, so stay tuned for it. But the deck that is really just doing so well on Magic Online, it's this FogTron deck, which is placing wins after wins by the same player that I only have a nickname of it, R Clint 21. He's been just dominating, like, such great performances, top 4 every challenges for, I don't know, 3 weeks in a row. And yeah, people just focus their sideboard to beat 2 decks that obviously will mean that that's just what metagame means. If you over sideboard for an archetype, that archetype will perform worse, but then just the rest will perform better. And so you have to balance. You have to get lucky with the matchups and so on and so forth. That's the beauty of Magic. Having good decks, metagaming, and so on and so forth. I think you can do that in Pauper because it's up for grabs. That's how I would define it. So yeah, this is a FogTron deck. I featured it a few weeks ago when Energy Refractor came out with Brothers War, and I want to say that it's doing very well right now. So I want to say that this deck performs online very well because timing, you online you have like infinite time basically. You have 25 minutes per person. It's really hard to end up in a draw, especially if you're expert and know how to balance your time. Online, in paper though, you're not responsible for your opponent time, and you might get some draws with this deck way more often than you can get them with other decks. So it is going to be definitely better to play online than in paper, where you can manage your own clock. Of course, at the beginning, you'll be maybe losing on time online, but once you manage to do that, this deck might just go to the old Prophetic Prism, Tron, no bad matchups, like Heisen said, and why they ended up banning Bonder's Ornament and Prophetic Prism. Now, Energy Refractor, maybe it's not as good, certainly not as good as these 2 cards, but it might be good enough, because in the meanwhile, you have In the meanwhile, you know, just the meta game is not that adapted to Tron because they're so focused on other things. So again, very cool meta game, very cool fun format. I probably just want to explore a little bit more of Black White Ephemerate, but again, enjoy playing Pauper, top format. And I see you every day on my YouTube channel for modern and Pauper content, sometimes legacy too. Last week I made 2 legacy videos, so check those out if you like that. And yeah, have a good week, everybody. Thank you for watching.